Well, Gary, welcome to the programme. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. Of course, our thoughts very much with the RSA after the weekend when it was Anzac Day, of course. But the RSA, in many people's minds, is about older people, isn't it?
I think that impression is still there today, and it dates back, obviously, from those who come back and started the association in World War I and then World War II, and so it goes on. And they're the two biggest areas that people are there. I think also the term returned confuses some people. So yes, there has been some viewpoint that is for older people.
Is it just a case that, of course, so many older people were involved in the Second World War? There's a huge glut of people who were in the services of that age, but then there haven't been any conflicts of that scale since then. So there have been fewer people in the armed services.
Yes, that's dead right. So the RSA, in fact, was formed in 1916. So you had that tremendous number coming back from the First World War of over 100,000 people, and then obviously the Second World War. So you're dead right. That's where it was. And then the conflicts since then haven't obviously, and don't want to, create so many ex-veterans that have come along. And of course there are still a large number of World War II veterans still alive, but slowly they're getting frailer.
So what does that mean for the RSA? What can it do to attract younger people in?
Well, we're right in the process now. There are two things. We certainly want to highlight those conflicts from the Second World War, not in a commemorative way, but to make sure that people realise that we've had forces around the world since then in various conflicts. And of course we've still got our armed forces today in various areas, maybe playing a slightly different role, but still representing us in some dangerous areas as well. From an RSA point of view, we know fully well that we want to attract and are attracting a number of younger people. Now by that I mean people in the 30-40 age bracket, but also younger ones. We are in the process of establishing a rebranding for ourselves, if you want to call it that, and local RSAs are certainly involved in that. I think coupled with that has been the fact that there has been a resurgence in wanting to know what happened in those days, driven by the younger people wanting to know what happened to their grandfathers, fathers, uncles, etc. And that's quite predominant. You can see that on Anzac days and other times.
Because it does seem to me that you know, when I look around at an Anzac morning service, there are more people in their 20s and 30s than I think I've seen at any other time.
Yes, there is, and that is all over New Zealand, and starting to question those things just to find out. Because the other side of it is there are very few families in New Zealand who have not got some connection to the military dating years back, and I think that's also coming to the fore.
So would it become more of a, I suppose, a community association? So, because obviously with fewer people being in the armed services, you're going to run out of people. So is it going to be open to people who aren't necessarily in the armed services but have some connection with them, or just keen to join?
It certainly is, and you can do that now. That's been open to people for some time now, and they're able to join. In fact, they are, and we call them, they join as what is called associate members. That's a generic name for them. And really, they're outnumbering the return to service people now, and I might add that they're all very proud to be part of that, and they certainly are a significant part of it.
It's so much a part of our society that it's attracting people because of what it stands for.
Yes, it is. You know, the name RSA, or Return Service Association, I guess you could make it that it's an iconic name in New Zealand. It's certainly part of the community. It certainly has always been part of the communities. And it's interesting to note that when an RSA is in some difficulty, and some RSAs at various times have been recently, how interested the community are as to what they can do to help that along. So yes, it is a community focus, not just on Anzac Day, but certainly in those periods of time. They may not all belong to it, but there is certainly a community element with it.
So what do you see as the future then for the RSA? What will be happening over the next few years?
I think that the future of the RSA is extremely strong. I think that the general public tend to see it that way. We currently have in the vicinity of 125,000 members nationwide. That really is a figure that is at the top end of the numbers that belong to the RSA forever. So that's good. We are well aware that the perceptions have got to be changed, and we're working towards that to do that. I might say also that when people come along, no matter what age bracket, particularly the younger ones, when they actually come inside and perhaps have a social evening there or something like that, their whole viewpoint changes. And 9 times out of 10, they want to come back and they become members. So it's getting through that first barrier, what the perception is out there, and we're working to do that right now.
Great. Well, I hope to have you back in a year's time and see how things have been going, Gary. Thank you very much.
I think that's a good time to do it, because right at the moment we are going around and talking to local RSAs who are independent bodies, and they're all very enthusiastic to make that happen.
Great. Well, Gary, thank you very much for your time.
Good. Thank you.